Well, hello everyone, it is me again. Now, people that are on my videos. Me a lot. I'm gonna be cutting out this one. That much I know. That much I know. Okay. So, last video I hate these things are evil. They are from hell. Moving on with what I was saying. So I decided to make my own kind of tag thing with just questions that came to. What is this? With questions that came to mind. Quite randomly. And so I think you guys should make responses because I want some responses. So number one, I should clarify. I am going to ask these questions and answer them myself, and then, you guys do your thing. Number one, are you wearing socks right now? Yes, I am, and they are gnome socks. They got little gnomes on them. Woo! Number two, are you a lefty? No. Number three, coffee or tea? I guess it depends on if my stomach can handle the coffee, and depends on what kind of tea I'm drinking, because as I said in my last video, I've been drinking this new tea that's really tasty, and I love chais. Who doesn't love a good chai tea with cream? So, I can't answer my own damn question. How stupid is that? Number four. I can't answer this one either. Milkshake or smoothie? Actually, no, I can. I'm mostly a smoothie person just because I definitely like fruit more than I like chocolate. Like, I'm always in the mood for fruit. Chocolate is sometimes, but always in the mood for fruit. Okay. Number five. Are you named after a family member? No, I am not. Which is a bit bizarre. Even my middle name is not from another family member, so it's a little bit different. Number six. Do you know the origin of your first and last name? I am so stupid. Hold on a second. I need to see what I know the origin of my last name. I do not know the origin of my first name. Let me look that up. What is... I was gonna sing a song, and that failed. So, apparently, my name, it says it's a Greek baby name, it's an American name, it's an English name. It's a derivative or a derived from an Irish name. All of them mean pure. That's so funny. My last name, what I found out a while ago is that, and I don't know if I will ever be able to find this sheet again because I had found it once, and it's gonna piss me off. It had something to do with, sorry, my boobs are itchy. It has something to do with people who worked on ships, and it's Dutch. It's a Dutch last name, but there was also something in that in that explanation that had something to do with it was also used as slang for being dumb, which, oh, that's flattering, isn't it? Appreciate it. 7. Do you like your middle name? I like mine. It goes well with my first name, and it did go well with my last name until I realized after asking 2 Dutch people how to pronounce it, and now it just sounds kind of funny. I should have just stayed ignorant and should not have asked how to pronounce it. But oh well. Number 7, how many piercings do you have? Why didn't I write this number down when I was writing these questions? This is stupid. 3. 7? 7. 3 in each ear and my belly button, so 7. This is number 9. What is your favorite flavor of pudding? Tapioca. I like tapioca pudding. And I think I liked it before, but when I was little and I watched Benny and June, when I say little, I mean like 10, 11 years old. There's a whole fiasco thing surrounding tapioca pudding, and that furthered my love for it more because Johnny Depp was involved with tapioca pudding, and it just evolved from there. Number 10. Do you have any boxes you have never unpacked from previous moves? We have a shit ton. I'm living in a fort of boxes as we speak. Number 11. Do you have any collections? I did. When I was little, I collected Beanie Babies like nobody's business. But then my mother sold them all. Yeah, Beanie Babies was a big one. I used to collect when I was really little, because Beanie Babies was like end of elementary school. When I was really little, horses, like horse figurines. And then when I went to like middle school, I had a lot of like pig stuff, because I like pigs. And after that, I don't really think I had a collection. I mean, I have a collection of Johnny Depp movies, and I'm starting a collection of Daniel Day-Lewis movies, if that counts. Why am I asking if it counts? I made this question up. Sure, it counts. Whatever. Number 12. What is your zodiac sign? I am a Leo. Grr. I'm a Leo. And actually, I was watching Witches of the Moon, and I went to the week where they're talking about astrology, and I did an astrology chart from Amy Webster had it. It was like www.astro.com or something. Don't quote me on that. Find the video. And I went there and got, like, I looked at my horoscopes and, like, filled out everything from when I was born and stuff. And everything that I read about, because it kind of, like, can show you a chart of what the fuck was going on in the cosmos, like, the exact moment you were born. And then it will explain, you know, like, descending and ascending signs and the houses that they're in and stuff. And everything that I've read was, like, creepily accurate. So if you're interested in astrology and your horoscope and stuff, go to that website. Number 13, what is your favorite color? Well, it was blue. Forever. Now I'm going into the purples. I'm extending. I'm reaching my phalanges out into different colors. I know that purple isn't a far stretch from blue. I like reds. Reds are nice. Yeah, reds. But I need to lighten up my wardrobe, you guys. I'm like dark colors all up the yin yang. It's it's bad. 14. 14. Are there any superstitious acts that you do, like avoid walking under a ladder? Yes. I avoid walking under ladders. When I was little, I would not step on cracks, like in the sidewalk. And it was really hard when I went into a supermarket because of the tiles. This is the kind of child I was. I don't know anything about, like, throwing salt over my shoulder or anything. I know people that do, but I always knock on wood. If something's going good and then somebody's like, oh, well, at least it's not this, I look at them and I say, why would you say that? And then I have to knock on wood. I'm very adamant about it. Like, I will get up if there's nothing wood next to me, and I will go find a piece of something made out of wood, and I will have to knock on it. Like, it's a weird thing that I do. Number 15. Is there someone that you disliked in elementary school that you still dislike now? Yes, and his name is Austin Lepley, and he is a tool. He was a tool then, he's a tool now, and that ain't ever gonna change. I remember, and this is why he was a tool. I slapped him in elementary school, and I'm very proud of that. Because he called me fat, and I slapped him. But I will never forget this because it was so painful. We were playing wall ball. Yes, wall ball, the best sport ever. Okay. We were playing wall ball, and we had like the hard, like rubber balls, like the ones that would like leave an indent in your skin. And our elementary school is made up of like fucking bricks. And we were playing, and this kid was really strong. He was skinny, but he was strong. He had a lot of muscle. And I was pretty good at dodging. Like, God, if we played dodgeball, I could dodge it, and I would be like one of the last people in, but I could not throw for shit, so I would always end up getting out. But he would, he was, you could hear when he threw it, you could hear, like, from a mile away how hard this ball hit someone. And we were playing against a brick wall, okay? And this fucker takes the fucking ball and throws it, and it hits me in the face, okay? Super strong kid, and I'm like 9 years old. Hits me in the face, and it hits me so hard that the other side of my head hits against the brick. And, like, my head was like, I was out crying. Like, it hurt so bad. I will never forgive him for doing that to me. Bad. Okay. 16. Cottage or a mansion? Personally, I would choose a cottage just because they're isolated and normally in the wilderness, and I just like the kind of fairy tale-esque-ness to it. It just seems a lot more peaceful, and I think people who live in cottages have their priorities in order. That's kind of a weird thing for me to say. But don't get me wrong. If I had the money to live in a mansion with like a freaking pool slide that had there's like an indoor pool in the fucking living room with like a projector screen crap, like if I had a bidet, is that how you say it? The special toilets. My own personal chef and maid. If I could afford all of that and have money left over, sure. That would be nice. But that seems a bit unrealistic. So yeah, cottage. 17. Trampoline or swimming pool? This question has plagued me since I was little, and I still have no idea. Because trampolines you can use all year round, but swimming is also a lot of fun. And I suppose if you had like a heated swimming pool, you could use it all year round. Like my aunt and uncle. I would have to say swimming pool, honestly. I don't like the way that I look in swimming suits or anything, but I like being in water. I just do. Number 18. What is the first trait you notice when spying someone who's attractive? I would say, me personally, God, I don't know, because everything just kind of seems to fall when, like, for me, when I know somebody attractive, everything just kind of falls on top of each other, very quickly. I think, maybe I'll give a list, okay, because this will be a little bit complicated. I think the first thing that I notice is height, because I have a thing where I don't like, I'm not attracted to guys who are shorter than me. Sorry, I just don't. Then it would go to like shoulder width in comparison to waist size. Because I like the inverted triangle. And if I'm okay with all that, Um, God, and I guess it depends on like how I'm looking at them, behind them, beside them, in front of them. Because if I'm in front of them, I would probably notice their eyes first. Um, and then I would go to height and whatever. And then normally after that, after eyes, it would go to smile. Um, just because I am a sucker for people who smile and they have nice teeth and they have like a cute, like kind of quirky, crooked smile that's charming. And then after that, if I'm okay with everything I've seen, I notice the fingers. I notice hands. And I don't think I need to explain that one. Even though I must say, okay, this has nothing to do with fingers. And this is going to sound so freaking weird, but I have to share this story because I've shared it with a couple of my friends and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I just went and saw The Hobbit with my friend the other day. And I did not think that the guy who played Legolas's papa was attractive in the other Hobbit movies. He kind of creeped me out. He seemed kind of like a douchebag, and I'm like, God, I don't like this guy. Well, in the third one that just came out, I'm watching it. I'm like, like, okay, maybe he's not a complete douchebag. And the movie kept going on, and he like Thandrill, right? Thandrill. He has a weird ass name. I've been calling him Thandrill. And he's on this giant fucking elk, right? And they're in war and shit, and there's the 5 armies. And he hops off his elk and like busts out these swords and it's like just cutting people down. And the first thing I noticed, like, I already have, I'm like looking at his face, I'm like, oh, okay. But what made him attractive to me, and then I reconsidered him, was his neck. I was watching him fight, and it like did a close up of his face, and I was noticing how his neck was moving, and I was like, damn, he's got a nice neck. I've never had that happen with anybody else. But yeah, sometimes I notice people's necks, so you better have a nice neck. That was so weird. Number 19 says, if you could take 3 trips to anywhere around the world, where would your destinations be and why? Number 1. Belgium, because that is where my family is from. We be Dutch, okay? We Dutch. We are very, very Dutch. And I don't know exactly. I need to do more research of this because it is so hard for me to find shit on my family, and it really makes me frustrated because this is stuff I would really like to know. But it's so hard to access files, and the fact that the family didn't keep anything really, because a lot of the family didn't really care enough to keep it. So it makes me really frustrated because I'm the one in the family that wants to know all this crap and I can't find any documentation, and it gets really frustrating. Or pictures. But anyways, Belgium. Next would be Ireland. Just because I know on one side of my family we be Irish, Celtic, and just because, God, you guys, if you look up pictures of like Irish countryside and crap, that to me that is like the most breathtaking and beautiful thing I've ever seen. Also because I've had dreams living like on the Irish coast, so that's another one. And then number 3 would be Scotland for the exact same reason. Not because I had a dream that I lived there, but just, I mean, I think it's also because I find European men attractive. That might be part of it too. And the accents are just killer. But, and Scottish people are like super charming. There's a vortex that people fall into around Scottish people. But again, the scenery is just to die for, really. And I would just like to have a culture shock that isn't so shocking. And especially, if part of my family came from these places, I want to see and experience, even though I know it's changed drastically, the atmosphere of where they came from. 20. Highlighters or sticky notes? Highlighters. I am definitely a highlighter person. I get pissed because sticky notes follow my book and stuff, and I took all the time to write all this shit down and then it just falls on my book, and it's like, what's the point? So highlighting, because your markings cannot fall out of your book unless you rip out entire pages, and then you've got some problems. Number 21, and I made it 21 questions because I'm 21 years old and I thought this would be an appropriate question. What was your worst drinking experience? I've never had one, honestly. I've had drinks. I've just never had a bad drinking experience because I've never gotten drunk. And people will probably shame me for that, but I do not like the idea of being unable to control myself. That kind of freaks me out. And I know, there are a lot of stories of date rape even at my campus and stuff because, people are out of their senses. They don't think about what they're doing, and I don't like the idea of becoming vulnerable or having the idea of being taken advantage of because of my own doing of getting drunk. I know that sounds very old school, but that's just how I am. So, these were my 21 questions. Feel free to respond. Please respond. Please respond. Make a video response. Please. Because I haven't had any, and I would really appreciate it so I didn't feel like a boob when I was making these videos.